Hello, boys and girls. So, I hope everyone enjoyed our little spring break. Very nice refresher. Can anybody tell me in sequence, since we've been practicing that, what happened over their weekend? hmm So, did you go home to school or did you come back to school first? Which one happened? You went home to school. Good. So, that's the start. And our end is we went to bed last night, right? Good. Thanks for sharing. So, we've been practicing our sequence. We've written letters. We wrote journal prompts. We wrote poems. So, we've done a lot of writing skills this year. And each of it has been a step into helping us be better readers, stronger writers, and to make sense of what we want to say and to make sense of what we're reading. That's how we become stronger readers and stronger writers. So, we're going to talk about research writing. So, research writing is different from what you're doing compared to maybe what I did when I was in school, in college, but the same basics apply in either topic. Whether you're writing a crazy research paper about the IUP trees or a crazy research paper about the great minds in history, which is what we're going to be writing about. So we're going to write about either J.K. Rowling, Helen Keller, or Martin Luther King Jr. All of them had crazy life stories, amazing life stories. And they're so important that we still talk about them today. And only one of the people that we're reading about are still alive. So that means they made a lasting impression on life in our world. We read about Helen Keller recently, so you know some history about her. We've done different things about Martin Luther King Jr., and we know about him. J.K. Rowling we haven't really talked about, but she writes all the Harry Potter books, which is a little bit above some of your guys' reading levels, and that's okay, but I've noticed that some of you are reading. And I thought it'd be cool if we learn more about the author. And then if you don't know anything about her and you want to start reading her books, there's different books that we could talk about that you could get interested in. But so our research, let's get back on topic. Our research writing paper. When you write a research paper, we have to go through our passage and we highlight or you write down, you make notes of the important details of the passage. So if we're reading about Martin Luther King Jr., is that fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction, correct. Most of the time it's a biography or an autobiography. And we are going to write down the important things. So our sequence comes in play then because we have to write about when they were born. But should we put when they were born at the beginning or the end of our paper? At the beginning. Good job. That's the answer I was looking for. So you have to make sure that you follow their life so another person could read your paper. So we're going to go through today and we are going to practice. And we are going to use a new strategy that we haven't really worked in our groups before, and I'll explain that a little bit. But we're going to go through and we're going to read. You can choose the passage you want to read, and you're going to go through and highlight all their important life details. And we're going to make a poster for our 3 groups that we're breaking into. We're going to have 3 posters, and we're going to hang them in the hallway to help inform our other second graders and our other peers in our school. And maybe they'll find something they didn't know. That's kind of what we want to get to them, get the point across of a detail that they didn't know or a fact that might surprise them. And we want to inform people about how other people lived. And you know, if you learn that Martin Luther King Jr. stepped out, you know, and he broke some laws, but they were in defense of his rights, it might make people think differently about some of their choices. But sometimes rules are really good to follow, but sometimes you have to make your own choice. So we're going to break into 3 groups. So if you want to do J.K. Rowling, raise your hand. Okay, you go in this group. I need 3 people. 1, 2, 3. Good. If you want to do Helen Keller, I need 3 people. Good. And I need Martin Luther King Jr. 3 people. Okay, so we all have our assignments now. We're all going to read about the person that you guys were assigned. But we're going to switch groups now. I know I tricked you guys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to assign each of you a role, and then you're going to break into those roles. And I need you guys to put on your serious lab coats, and you're going to become serious observers, serious scientists, serious everything. And you're going to become experts in what you're researching. So my 3 roles are going to be someone who reads the passage and highlights the details. The other one is going to put the details in sequential order. And then the last person is going to be in charge of drawing the pictures of their character. So you're going to go on the web and you're going to look up pictures of our character and you're going to draw pictures, and you're going to find the important pictures. So maybe a picture of his wife for Martin Luther King. Maybe you're going to draw all the pictures of J.K. Rowling since she's an amazing author. So I need Lydia, okay? Lydia, Tyler, and Zach. You guys are all going to be my researchers. Kylie, Morgan, and Taylor, you guys are all going to be my picture drawers. So my last group of people, you guys are all going to be the ones who put everything in sequential order. So do you think you're going to be very busy until we get our research paper back? No. So I need you guys to do something else. Can you handle that? You guys are going to read a second passage. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but it's going to give you the general gist. So the passage is going to be in order, but the details that the researchers may give you may not be. So we're going to work on it. I think it might get a little confusing, but I know you guys can handle it. I just want to make sure that we have enough facts to go around for our poster board, okay? So now that you guys are broken into our separate groups, we're going to have about 5 minutes that you guys are going to take, and you're going to break into your groups, do your passage reading, do all that, become your experts, and then we're going to come back and see how far everybody is and check in. And then we're going to compare with our groups. So the most important part is that in your Martin Luther King group, that nobody else knows the information that you know. So you need to make sure that when you're reading with your group, you take really good details and you're being very serious about what you're taking in to share back with your home group when you go back to your original group. And that's for everybody. So if you're drawing pictures, nobody knows what pictures you're drawing or why you're drawing them. They don't know what you looked up. So you need to be very serious about what you are drawing. All right? Okay, go ahead and break up. Okay, so now that we're all back, I want everybody to take their time. Sorry, there's a glare. Take their time, and you guys are going to share all the information you found with your peers. And it's really important now to discuss everything that you've read, all what you wrote, why you wrote it, why you thought it was important. I don't want anybody to think that they have the right idea and someone else has the wrong idea, but I want us to all listen and be amazed by all the details that everybody picked up, okay? So go ahead and do that. Share. Yep, scooch back. All right. Okay, so everybody come up and present, please. One person, one group. So you're talking about Martin Luther King Jr. You're talking about the passage that you read, your facts. Okay. Now, did you guys have any trouble reading that passage? Was there anything that you stumbled across that was a little bit challenging? No, you came up for me for a couple of words that you needed help to sound out, but other than that, you guys did a very good job. You stayed on task. You helped each other out. Good work. Helen Keller, did you guys find any new details in the passage I gave you versus the passage we read in our reading book? Okay, a couple details. That's great. I'm glad we're learning more information about her. I think the obstacles both of our characters that we've talked about so far, that they had to overcome have been amazing, right? All right. And there weren't any challenging vocabulary words? No, but you asked a friend. That's great. So you guys worked together to sound it out. And then were you able to come back and explain it to your group? Did they get confused on it? Yeah, but you helped them. That's great. And we have J.K. Rowling. So are there any more book lovers now in this group? Okay, so again, I know some of her book titles are hard to pronounce, but I don't think anybody came up to help. Was there any challenges? Did you guys know? Were they familiar? Okay, they were familiar because you have an older sister who reads them. Well, that's good. I'm glad you used your context clues to help you. And you guys helped your peers. So the most important part to take back from this, actually there's a couple important parts, right? So we learned great details about 3 amazing people who overcame obstacles and left a lasting legacy on us that is important to learn, to keep learning about, and to share with others. Second, that when you write a research paper, you need to keep it in sequential order. Good. So when you write a research paper too, it's very important to keep the reader's interest. You have to keep it a little bit shorter. You don't want to go on for too much of a length. You don't have any fun superheroes coming in, so you have to keep it straight to the point. And I think you all did an amazing job. Took your fact and you rewrote it. You added a little bit of fluff to make it flow, but you all transitioned well throughout your paragraphs and stuff. And finally, we learned is that when we come together, so we can learn different things at different groups, and then when we come back together, we can do amazing things. We can share, and sometimes we can almost get more work done when we become familiar with something that we enjoy talking about or reading about, and then come back and share with others. All right, everyone, it's lunch. Thank you. Go have a good day.